Welcome, friends. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric, and today we're going to do a Mizzou basketball roster reset. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. So, with the season over, Mizzou is seeing turnover like crazy. It's happening everywhere to a certain extent. Like 30% of all college basketball players are in the transfer portal, which is ludicrous. But Mizzou's getting hit especially hard with turnover. So let's look at that first. Your seniors, you've got 5 who are out the door. When that big of a chunk of your roster is leaving to begin with, and you know transfers are happening, how badly do you want to fight to keep guys around? Remember, no seniors are exhausting their eligibility due to the COVID exemption waiver. All right. So all the seniors could come back in theory, but Cuonzo Martin's not going to fight hard to keep guys like Drew Buggs, Mark Smith, or Mitchell Smith. They just aren't that talented that it's a big loss to lose them when you're already trying to do a roster reset. So Mark Smith's at Kansas State, Drew Buggs is in the portal, Mitchell Smith might just be done. Jeremiah Tillman and Drew Smith, a little bit different story. If they were wanting to stick around, you absolutely do it. But Jeremiah Tillman has a kid that he's going to try and provide for, getting paid to play in G League or Europe or wherever. Drew Smith, he's engaged. He's not going to be a married man just chilling on campus. That's not happening. So there's your seniors gone. Xavier Pinson, transferred. That was expected. A lot of people thought that he would go pro. I guess the transfer part is a bit of a surprise. Him being gone is not the surprise. And he may opt to go pro anyway, even though he's in the portal right now. We'll see. Then you look at Parker Brown. He's now at Santa Clara, getting a little more playing time most likely. And his family pretty vocal on social media about their not being fans of Cuonzo Martin. So that kind of nuked his chances of, sticking around, really. Then you have Ed Chang. He did not play a single minute all season. So, of course, he's transferring. Then Torrance Watson. Streaky shooter. He could do well at like a SIU-E type, maybe SIU Carbondale, something like that. I think he could do well. Remember, he hit 8 threes, set the Mizzou Arena record. So he's capable, just not consistent. So what does that leave for Mizzou basketball? That leaves John Pickett, Dejuan Gordon, who we'll talk about in a second. That leaves Kobe Brown and Jordan Wilmore, who a lot of people thought might transfer, but he's coming back. So Mizzou has a freshman class of 5 coming in. The first is Dejuan Gordon. He was on campus starting with the spring semester, and he was with the team, didn't play. He's 6'6", 200, kind of a small forward type. 6'6", 200 being the same measurements that Kim English had, just for reference. Then you have 2 guys from Springfield. You have Anton Brookshire, a point guard. He's 6 foot 160, so little guy, but he's quick, and he's sturdy enough in high school anyway. We'll see what happens. Get a little muscle on him. Speaking of getting a little muscle on him, Trevon Brazil, 6'7", but only 180. He's going to also need to get up above 200, I think, to be able to play down low in the SEC. Then you have Caleb Brown, who is Kobe's younger brother. He's 6'6", but he's going to be more outside, more of your guard. Then you have what I think might be the most talented player in the class. That's Yaya Keita. He's 6'9", 225, out of DeSmet High School in St. Louis. He tore his ACL and missed his senior year of high school. Missed his senior season, that is. I think he's probably the most highly touted, most ready, ACL recovery notwithstanding. An offer from Iowa, which after this season, that means a little bit more. You're going to need him to be effective. He has to be, just because of what's left as far as interior positions. Then you look at transfers. As far as transfers go, Mizzou fans knew they were going to have a bunch of transfers. It was a matter of getting guys. Mizzou's got 3 so far. The first 2 did not move the needle. Those are Amari Davis. He is a Xavier Pinson type, honestly, of guard, who is from University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. Like I just said, if he might replicate Xavier Pinson's type of game, he's a slasher, drive to the basket type, get him to play hard defense and have him play consistently, it could be a net upgrade. You also have Dejuan Gordon. Dejuan Gordon comes from Kansas State. He averaged 9 points a game for Kansas State, and Kansas State was terrible. So some people online have been saying, oh, 9 points for a terrible team. How good can this guy be? Well, yeah, that's not really fair, I don't think. Those 2 guys, they are complementary pieces. They become more effective when you have the guy. Well, Mizzou didn't have the guy when they announced that they were transferring, so fans weren't satisfied. They was, oh my gosh, we got these mid-major guys, Green Bay, what's this? All that. Well, Boogie Coleman makes everything look a little better. His given name's Dejuan, but he goes by Boogie, which is awesome. So that transfer's a win right there. He's coming from Ball State, 6'5", and he's a shooter. He shot 47% from the field, and he shot 42.5% from 3. Mizzou hasn't had anybody, the past 2 years especially, who can shoot like that. The closest you can come is Mark Smith's first year with Mizzou, his sophomore season. That's the closest you can get over the past 3 years to having that caliber of shooter. So he is the guy that kind of makes everything else work. And the reason I say that is that when you look at stopping someone like a Davis or Gordon driving the lane, you know, a lot of times when you have a guy who knows, when the defense knows a guy's going to drive, that's his game. Other defenders may sag and kind of clog the lane. Well, defenses have been able to do that really aggressively against Missouri because there's been nobody outside to keep them honest. You know, the defender sags, and then they dish it out for an open look from 3 from Mark Smith shooting 29%, or, you know, Drew Buggs shooting 8% or whatever. You know, not good shooters is my point. Well, Boogie Coleman changes that. The defender, at least on one side, has to honor the fact that Coleman can hit the 3 consistently. So that's going to open things up for guards driving to the basket. And he's just a good player in general. So that's a big piece. That puts Mizzou at 11 players. So they've got 2 scholarships left. They have to use one on a big man. They need somebody who's 6'9", 230, who can just kind of muscle up and play. Because right now, looking at what Mizzou has on the interior, you have Kobe Brown, who, yeah, I mean, he can play down low, but I feel like he's better as that complementary guy. It gets maybe the second best post defender, because if he's getting guarded by a guy that's 6'10", it's not going to work. And then you've got Jordan Wilmore. That's it. Yaya Keita coming in. Let's see how his ACL is. But other than that, Mizzou has nothing. So they need a big guy. So, I mean, Tillman's a big guy. 6'10", 260. That's huge. 6'9", 230. And effective. That's all you need. With 1,000 guys in the portal, there's one out there. I know it. And then there's one high school kid that Mizzou is looking at, but a lot of people are. This is Tamar Bates. He is from Kansas City. He had signed with Texas, but he got released when Shaka Smart took the job up at Marquette. He is considering Mizzou. What does Mizzou have going for it that he might choose Mizzou? Well, like I said, from Kansas City, so proximity. Mizzou's going through this turnover. There's hardly anything established as far as returning guys. So there's playing time available. And he said he wants to play for a black head coach, which, you can think of that what you want, but the fact is Mizzou has a black head coach. So might be a small advantage for Missouri. Mizzou's making a run for him. Maybe they get him, maybe they don't. If not, there's nothing wrong with putting that 13th scholarship back in your pocket and using it on a guy next year that might be more effective. You don't need to go out and give that 13th scholarship away just to do it. That's how you end up with an Ed Chang or an Axel Okongo type. And that's just wasting everybody's time. So that's it. That's where Mizzou's basketball roster is right now. Going to have a lot of new fresh faces and a lot of names to getting used to and numbers and all that. It's going to be exciting, if nothing else. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope to see you next time.